What's going on, friends? We are live, and Flip is looking fly tonight, although his kid is eating dinner in his living room, so he might be a little more muted than normal. I hope
It's a
everybody's
little
doing
puffy
well.
on the sides. I walked in. I said, "Give me the Kim Jong Il."
Well, it's looking pretty ill, I will say that. I am not down with the slang. How is everybody? I hope everything's all right.
It's been a weird 2 days off because so we turned my man cave into Brigida's room, but I pretty much just stuffed all my records and crap in the closet. And we just didn't open it. So now we turn her closet into her toy room.
He's not muted, but we can't hear him. There he goes.
Hello.
I can hear you, but now I can't see you. Now I can see you, but I don't think I can hear you. And now you're gone. How does this always happen for Flip? I will bring up, because it's kind of a very similar thing to him. I'm still exhausted because over the weekend, my kids had been sharing a room and had a bunk bed, and we switched them to a different room, but separated the beds. And I'm exhausted. And of course, it was one of those situations where I'm decent at math, so I was doing like some measuring and trying to get it, figured out where we can put everything. And unfortunately, one of the measurements in the second room that we were putting them in was slightly off, so the plan that we were going for with the beds the entire day was impossible. So we did everything to get it to work, and instead it just ended up taking up a whole bunch of space. So we left them, and it's not ideal, but it'll work for now. And here we are. So I think Flip might be back. I got some camera movement.
All right.
Now I can hear you.
I'm back. What's up? Can you hear me?
I was talking about how I
Now I
moved my
can hear
kids from one room to another room and separated their bunk. He's gone. Fully gone. Anyways, what's going on, Sean? I hope you had a good birthday. Maybe. Can
you hear me?
Yes, but you're lagging like crazy. So I'll say happy birthday, Sean, while Flip gets that worked out.
Happy birthday,
What's going on,
Sean.
Dave? Eric, my friend, glad you're here. Because you're lagging so much, it was just wide-eyed when you said that. It looked hilarious. Jeff, what's going on, my friend? Sardis says happy birthday. Which is better, not seeing or not hearing? Depends on who it is. If it's Flip, I mean, he's trying to show off his eyebrow, so seeing is important right now.
Do I sound good?
Anthony's here. What's going on? Yes, lots of Discord friends here tonight. That's a great thing. Yes, I can hear you, but you're gone again. Sardis watched Space Amoeba in a Mexican horror film called Aventura al Centro de la Tierra. Is that a VCI release? What's going on? Oh, now he's muted. Yeah.
Ryan, can you hear me?
Yes, and you're not super laggy.
And we have a guest. She wants to say hi real quick before she goes to bed. Say hi. Hey, say what's up, you giant?
Yeah. Funny. What's up, you giant?
Ryan is like 2 times the size of Daddy. He's tall.
What?
Just straight lying to your kid.
Look into my cell, baby.
Oh no, she wants to show you, dog. All right, sweet. I love you. Good night, baby.
Also, going
She was like, you want to go see my Scylla, baby? Our dog's on her period, so she's in that cage.
2 times your height.
I mean, yeah, like I'm 5'6", you're like what, 10, 11?
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
Cold from Sloppy Seconds. Okay, I know VCI puts out some of those Mexican horror films, and they're not great quality.
What, the Santo films?
Most everything from VCI is really low quality. Do you have anything from VCI?
Yeah, I have like an old Western like serial that they released.
Right. So pretty much all of those are mod, and they're not even like high quality mod. And even the paper they use on the inserts are inferior to most every other boutique.
Are they still around?
Not only are they around, they just announced their first 4K.
What is it?
Children shouldn't play with dead things. And I haven't even posted the announcement yet because I want real details on it. But VCI is kind of trash, and I don't know.
You know that there's someone out there that's like, I only collect VCI titles. There has to be someone out there. That's
Somebody's
like,
a VCI completist.
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's people out there whose favorite movie is, Jaws. So I'm sure there's somebody out there who likes VCI.
That hurt a little bit.
Just kidding. I love Jaws.
So now that it's a little different, how's it going?
It's good. I moved my record collection into the garage. So I'm moving it from downstairs to the garage at 100+ degree weather today. Not fun. Heavy. I got these like 272 quart. Got these 72 quart bins, like those like storage bins.
Right.
And I filled up 6 of them with records. And then there's still a lot left over. A lot of 10 inches, a lot of 7 inches. So they're heavy. I was going to have a friend come, and I was like, I'll just do it myself. And that was not a good idea.
How about that humidity, though?
Terrible. The Midwest. People always go, well, at least it's not Florida. It's pretty fucking close. Like, there's a lake down the road. So
at the worst, it is pretty close to Florida, but it's not.
Man, it's nasty here.
Yeah.
Out of everywhere in the United States, my grandparents were like, yeah, let's go to Illinois. They could have gone to Colorado, even fucking New York, like upper state New York. They could have gone anywhere out west. They're like, let's go dead center, worst state. And when my grandfather was still alive, I would go, why'd you come here? And he'd go, I don't know. I stupid. I never come here.
Illinois is the worst state. I think that's a hot take.
It's the worst. It has the most amount of people leaving it out of any other state.
That's why tonight our theme is we are tier listing all of the U.S. states from bottom. No, just kidding.
Speaking of politics, did you hear about Lauren Boebert's leak today?
No.
She had 2 abortions and used to be an escort.
Interesting. We won't get into politics, but yeah, there's been a lot of stuff lately from politics.
It's fun.
Movie wise, what's going on that front for you?
I watched a couple more spaghetti westerns. I watched the first Sabata film. Great. I'm just going through that set again. I was in the mood for some westerns. Great film. And then I watched, I don't know the names off the top of my head, but 2 spaghetti westerns that came out according to this list post a fistful of dollars, but they're so fucking bad. Like, one of them is just, it's the Applebee. I think I wrote on my Letterboxd review, it's the Applebee's equivalent of a movie. It's so bad.
Just that boring.
But like, not bad to where it's offensive. Like there's some movies where you're like, I wish that was just bad. But other than that, just been watching kung fu movies too.
Started to watch Years of Lead and got Vampire in the Eureka release.
Does the Eureka release come with the book?
It does. Do I have it close? Yeah, I think I can grab it. Oh shit!
Oh, I know that feeling.
My life just flashed before 14 releases eyes. All right, let me put these back. Yes, not only does it come with the book, it is going to be the definitive release of this film, especially because I don't think this is ever going to get a 4K. And it's
Better
not only
Criterions?
Oh yeah, this was a 10-year restoration that they've been working on.
Wow.
And so
how the fuck did you get Sean plot today, Sean? Damn.
Lots of stuff in there. And a good, solid, hard, nice box.
I might pick that up. I really like that movie quite a bit. That and the Joan of Arc film. What's the title of
isn't it Joan of Arc, or am I thinking of something different?
I think it's got like, I don't know, but the Joan of Arc film, the silent film, is one of my favorite films of all time. It's an incredible movie. I would love to have a
Passion of Joan of Arc.
Yes, that's what it is. I like that movie so much. I'm considering getting a Joan of Arc leg piece.
Wow.
I really like that movie. I really like her story. And if it's true, like just her showing up to battle and waving her flag just fucking rallied people so much. It's awesome. What did you
Dave,
watch?
Dave watched Spirit Walker Korean. Do you know that one?
I've seen the trailer. It looks good.
I think that got a release from Welgo. I need
Did it
to
really?
get that one. I think so. If as long as it's the same movie, that's kind of for Korean. That's kind of a generic title. What have I watched recently? This movie, Spontaneous. Have you heard of this one? So it says an explosive love story, and this is essentially a modern romantic comedy taken to a weird level. And the weird level is that, and this is not at all a spoiler, in the first 2 minutes of the film, the female half is sitting in a class, and somebody in the class explodes. And not like fire explodes, just pops like a balloon. And there's blood everywhere. And they don't know why, and they treat the situation like it's a virus or something. And in the midst of all this trauma going on, this has maybe the most like realistic romantic coming together story that I've seen in ages. I was shocked at how good it was, about how absolutely organic it felt, and was something that I really suggest people watch. It's new, it's indie, it's shot well, it's acted very well.
Did it come out this year? Like a 2022 film?
No, I believe it's a 2020 film, but the Blu-ray got delayed and just came out late last year.
Sean said he gave it 1 star.
Sean has a lot of really bad takes.
He's got bad takes. Like really. So there's a local film critic who lives here in town, and he listens to Sean and I's podcast. And when Sean said he didn't like The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, this like nice guy who's on the news writes to me and wrote, "Is he a fucking idiot?" He doesn't like The Good, the Bad, or the Ugly. I'm like, man. He's not an idiot. He's just got really bad takes.
Flickering Waves watched Thrilling Bloody Sword last night. Wanted to remind everybody that is coming back in a standard edition in the next, I believe, 2 months.
What's going to be standard about it?
It's just not it won't have the book, and it won't have the same artwork and everything.
That's a really good release. Have you seen what that goes for on eBay?
No, not yet.
Like $500.
I did start to watch this with Jeremy, and like very quickly fell asleep. I was so embarrassed when I watched this last night that I realized how quickly I fell asleep while watching with Jeremy. I
want to know, Jeremy, does Ryan snore?
Oh yeah.
And if so, how loud was it?
He said he didn't hear me at all.
We did start everything everywhere all at once. The internet went out because they were doing maintenance. So we watched the first 45 minutes. Right when Jamie Lee Curtis attacks, and around. So far, it's good. I really like it so far.
The movie hasn't even really started yet.
I was going to say, I don't know how this is going to be one of the best movies ever. Oh, I watched RRR.
Nice.
I'm going to say a slur.
Fingers on the mute button.
I think it stands for really, really retarded, because it was not that good of a movie. I don't know. It's just not my thing. The music cues, no. Just not my thing.
Speaking of bad takes.
I know, that's a bad take. Everyone hyped it up.
No, I'm talking about the slur.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean,
I think that this is a very divisive movie. Everyone is pretty much saying that it's either the best thing ever, or why is everybody praising this so much?
Have you noticed there's been like a lot of hyperbole with movies lately?
There's been a lot of hyperbole, yes.
Oh, that's what I see. I should be an RRR. But no, like every movie that's come out that's like even remotely different, people are like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing of all time."
Right.
I don't know. I'm just not into Indian movies, man. I can't I can't. I don't know. The music cues. It's like they take everything I don't like about movies. Heavy CGI.
That's what I was going to say, is if you don't like musicals, it may not be for you. And that's for Bollywood stuff. That's a lot of what they do. And I tend to like that because it's sort of a brief intermission, kind of, with the way a lot of movies do it, at least.
Wait, you like Bollywood?
I liked some of the Bollywood I've watched, yeah.
So I learned something about Bollywood movies is that no matter what the movie, there's intermissions. That's why their movies tend to be a lot longer.
Exactly.
That they have intermissions, even with American-based movies that people like when like the Avengers goes over there. There's a halfway point where people go to the bathroom. People are trying to say Indian cinema is a new Hong Kong cinema. I don't see that at all. I think that's insane. I think those people are huff and glue. I think South Korean cinema is the new Hong Kong cinema, not Indian movies. Could you imagine if like?
I don't understand how that would even be a question. I think South Korea claimed that years ago.
Yeah, South Korea is just incredible. There's a new South Korean movie. God damn it, I wish I fucking remember the name. It was a cop thriller. I just saw the trailer today. It looked awesome. But yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Does it go places past this? Like, does it go and do some incredible stuff? Because so far it's just...
Again, as I just said, I kind of meant it as a joke, but also not really. Even though it's 45 minutes in, the movie hasn't even really started yet. Like, you had the foundation of the relationships, but that's it. You haven't seen anything none of the tension is there or anything yet.
Now, I think if someone like my mom watched this, the first half she would be emotionally... Because they lived above their restaurant, just like they live in the laundry room. Or the laundry mat, not the laundry room. The father figure being very hard on the mother, like my grandfather was.
Yeah.
Well, when Hollywood productions are largely formula and based on something else, something even slightly different would stick out.
I think that's why RRR gets all of the praise right now.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe I should give it another try, like when I'm like in a happier mood, because this has been a rough week at work. I've been angry.
Well. I would say Everything Everywhere All at Once. Watch it when you're in a good, nostalgic for your family.
Never.
I get that. And yeah, I don't want to be a downer about it, but when I watched it, a lot of it was, man, I could see how other people's families would be like this.
I do think it's funny when they're showing her as an actress. It's just footage of Michelle Yeoh. Yeah. Just like, I thought that was awesome. I was laughing.
Nothing else different.
I was like, oh, that's just her at the red carpet. What I do find really interesting is in the last couple of years, these massive Hong Kong stars like Tony Leung or like Michelle Yeoh are getting like a second breath in their career.
Right.
From being in huge movies from like the West. Like whenever Shang-Chi came out, there was like girls all over TikTok being like, who is Tony Leung? He is hot. It's like, you guys have no idea. He's got some bangers of films in his filmography. Flip texted me a very sweet message the other day. What a guy. Told him I would have beat the fuck out of that shopping cart if I was there.
You and me both, Jeff. Completely dislike most of your family too.
The reason why my screen
come on, you walked all over that joke.
It's because the reason, just to show you like how much my family's up my ass all the time. The reason why my stream cut out earlier is because my mom called me to ask if they have Paramount Plus when they've already watched stuff on Paramount Plus.
That makes sense.
That's what I'm dealing with. Did you see what I posted on Twitter?
Which thing?
The text message conversation.
Oh yeah, well you texted it.
Oh yeah, I sent that to you. That's what I've been dealing with all week. Just that. I'm exhausted. Do you want to talk about pickups?
I want you to talk first, and then I'm going to share one because we're going to get into my topic, or we're going to get in the topic with my pickup tonight. So
most of my stuff should be coming tomorrow. I got Killer Meteors, the $2 films in 4K coming. I don't buy the hype for RRR, but you should buy the hype for Everything Everywhere. I don't know, Jeremy. I picked up Ozana's Raid. I thought I had this. I was looking for this the other day, and I was like, I know I've seen this. I know it's a Kino release. Where is it? Couldn't find it. This seems to be going out of print, so I hurried up and snagged it. This is a great movie. Have you seen this?
I have not. There's a lot of Kino stuff that seems to be going out of print right now, though.
Really good. And then I picked up my first Paramount Presents movie, The Man Who
Sky.
Shot Liberty Valance in 4K. So this is their first 4K in this line, right?
It is, yeah.
Really excited. I really like the do they do this with every movie?
Yes, every single Paramount Presents has
I
the poster on the inside.
Love that. That is so awesome. Have you've seen this movie, right?
A long time ago. I only remember a couple of the major beats from it. Have you seen this disc yet?
I have not.
I'm curious how that 4K looks. Oh, I guess that's what you were just opening, probably.
Yes. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for the Films at Home review to solidify my opinion on if the 4K transfer is good or not.
I'll send you the link to Blu-ray.com.
Yes, please. But yeah, that's a classic film. John Ford is incredible. Kino has another John Ford movie coming out soon with John Wayne. I think The Men Who Ride Horses or Rode Horses. Something with John Wayne and a horse. Which is a lot of John Wayne.
That's true.
Sardis hasn't heard of either film. What, Sardis? Are you joking?
He's probably talking about RRR or Everything Everywhere.
Oh, I was like, Sardis, you've never heard of The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. I was like, Scorsese said he didn't care for Liberty Valance. Yeah, well, Scorsese's also said Marvel movies weren't cinema, and he's
That's a good
correct.
Wow. Any other pickups?
No. Next week it'll be a lot.
So before I talk about mine, our topic for tonight, we're going to be going over essentially a state of the union, checking in on boutique physical medias. We are almost exactly at the halfway point of the year, and we kind of did I think we did like a 90-day check-in of some of our favorite labels, but this is more of like the hobby as a whole. And that's why for my first thing, I'm going to talk about this pickup, which is Drive in 4K. And why are we making limited editions so goddamn big that it takes up so much space on my shelf? Have you seen an unboxing for any of these yet?
Yes, I saw Fanatical Dragons unboxing where his book is printed upside down.
So 2 books, not just 2 books, like 2 books, like novels.
What do they cover? Or do they cover different stuff?
So yeah, all kinds of stuff. So this is, let's see, this one is, I believe, like a script and, or it's the novelization of the film, something like that.
Was that a
Yeah.
thing before?
I'm not entirely sure. So this has multiple stories, couple poems, yeah, a whole bunch of stuff in here. But then this is a hardback, like 200-page book, and this is ludicrous.
Oh, storyboards and everything in there?
And
Yeah.
everything all in here. And then, of course, Second Sight going all above and beyond with their giant art cards. These are not like regular lobby cards. These are like postcards times 50% or times 150%.
I thought about getting that release. I was actually really hyped when it got announced. I think I said on this show that will be the first Second Sight release I buy.
How have you not bought one yet? There's been so many good
Because
ones.
they're ginormous.
They are, but they're so well done.
They are very well done, but they're just so big. And Drive was just, I think, overkill. I think that is insane. That thing is that big. And I like Drive. I like Drive a lot. I think it's a great movie, but does Drive deserve that kind of a release?
Honestly, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
With the way that it hit the pop culture and everything, I think it's something that probably does. I don't think that it. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of internally arguing with myself now because also it's very much just like a film bro film.
It is very much a film bro film now. That's right. But
So, I don't know.
I'm a film bro, so.
But then there's other things that are just too large. I mean, Imprint. I love Imprint films. I love all their releases. But on the same day, and I showed this to my patrons last week.
Is it the noir one?
I compared the two of them. This is the After Dark neo-noir cinema, and it's this thick compared to Drive. So obviously, Drive is very close, but I mean, this is 1, 2, 3. I think it's 6 movies, and it's in 6 cases on the inside.
That's actually pretty nice for that. See, that I get.
Make them slimline cases at least. Something to take up slightly less shelf space.
Weren't the Gong Li films that they put out slim cases? No,
Nope, that box set is fucking huge too.
it's over there. Okay.
No, those are full size cases on the inside. All of the imprint ones have been full size cases, and they do a lot of box sets. Like they'll do not box sets with like 6 titles, but they'll do 2 or 3 titles, and it'll be like the Odd Couple. They had the original Odd Couple, the newer Odd Couple, and then a couple of the episodes from the TV show, and it's 3 cases long. The Wicker Man release. Jeff is asking how big it was.
Who
it was
put that up?
Imprint.
Jesus.
It was 3 cases for 1 movie.
No. So we're gonna talk about the state. I have a very unpopular opinion. I have a theory. I think the prices are going to go up
After they already have started, yeah. But this is one of the things we were going to talk about for sure.
I think inflation is going to hit Blu-rays, and the rabid fans of Drive are very rabid. That's true. That soundtrack is banging though.
It is. It's easily one of the best soundtrack films of all time.
My wife likes the movie, so that's a positive. I think, yeah. I mean, I like when Arrow did the Sartana set, slimmer cases.
That's a good point. Dude says, I think the 12mm slim cases are a North American thing. Australia and UK only have those DVD size thicknesses. That makes sense. What's going on,
nerd?
Cam?
Cam, nerd, whatever.
We are talking about state of the hobby, checking in for the half point of the year. Talk about pricing. So yes, things are going to go up. And I think that a few people have already started to complain about certain releases, specifically like Second Sight's $60 for 1 movie, or the Vinegar Syndrome limited edition releases. But
speaking of Vinegar Syndrome, I still haven't gotten my order.
Most people haven't. Like a lot of subs have, and a couple that aren't subs haven't. Yeah, there's still a lot of people waiting. What was I about to say? Oh, I think the first Wake Up Call, that sub price from Vinegar Syndrome for next year.
How much is it?
I don't know yet, but it's going to be over $1,000.
Isn't it already $1,000?
No, last year it was like $960, and if you were a sub the year before, or even like a halfway sub, you get like $40 or $60 off. So it was a little. I mean, that's a significant discount. I got to be honest, to continue being loyal. But I would not be surprised if next year it's like $1,050 or $1,100.
Here's the thing: is that they can do that. Their fan base is insane.
Yep.
And they, it's the ICP fandom of boutique Blu-rays is Vinegar Syndrome.
Sardis, can you finance a 1-year sub for 24 months?
I mean, I would be surprised if they offer that next year. If they're like, hey, paying 4 or paying 12, whatever.
Yeah.
Fu says, I refuse to part with $65 for Thriller. I watched Thriller. This is triggering this. What a disgusting film. Like, what an absolute disgusting movie. I don't know if it's just because I'm older now, but like movies focusing on sexual violence, even if there's like a revenge aspect to it, there is like an almost fetishization of it in these movies like Thriller, like Irreversible, that I can't get behind it. And I'm blown away that movie's so, like, I get its importance in grindhouse cinema. I get that. But 65, like, just like Sean said, 65 fucking dollars for Thriller is madness.
And they sold more than 10,000 copies of it.
Jesus Christ, for real.
They sold 10,000 of the limited edition, and then they started selling a standard edition.
God damn.
Yeah.
I mean, good for them.
Now,
But also, that has 2 cuts of the movie, right? That has 2 cuts.
2 cuts of the movie and both in 4K.
Now, see, I'm judging someone paying $65 for that, but there are movies I'd pay $80 for if they had multiple cuts. So,
I do want to push back on one thing, and that's because one of the reasons I've heard people explain exploitation and horror involving sexual trauma is because of literally how horrifying it is and how real it is for a lot of people. And even though it can come across as fetishizing, it is something that it is an actual terror for a lot of people.
I mean, I get that just from my standpoint. Not my thing.
I get it. Yeah.
Stardust says, is 10,000 really limited? Apparently so, if it sells out.
And I'll say it absolutely is limited. I mean, look at, 15 years ago when 250,000 was limited. Obviously, the hobby has changed quite a bit, but there are multiple Vinegar Syndrome releases. There are multiple Arrow releases that have done 6,000 and sold out on pre-order. And because of that, there's people wanting that item, which means, by definition, it's limited.
That's why I buy. I mean, I know most of the Eureka Kung Fu stuff is like slowly goes out of print. I think One Arm Boxer just went out of print, but eventually that stuff is going to go out of print. So I always pick it up right away. What is one pet peeve of yours with the state of boutique Blu-rays?
With the actual companies, or just the hobby itself as a whole?
Or like for instance, like I have one that's very specific, and it's, look, if you are a fan of these movies and you don't have a region-free player, I don't know what you're doing. You need to have a region-free player. Just not buy.
It's worse than that. I think the ones that really get to me on that topic is the people that don't have a region-free player and then complain because they're in America and the Region A release has been out of print.
Yes.
You have access to something else. You're just actively choosing to not get it.
Back when I was collecting anime heavily, a lot of stuff that I wanted was only in Region B. So if you're even remotely, like, especially like martial arts fans, I don't understand martial arts fans who are just Region A. But what makes me mad in that aspect is that there are a lot of companies like Eureka and Arrow collaborating on releases when they know that each other have the rights to these movies, but they could be putting money and time and effort into other releases instead of, like, the fact that we're getting Police Story from Eureka, right? And then including Super Cop 3. But then Super Cop 3 is getting a US 88 Films release. And then what was the other one? Oh, Righting Wrongs. Vinegar Syndrome's releasing Righting Wrongs, but then I think 88 Films is also releasing or Eureka. One of those two is also releasing Righting Wrongs. And they know this. So, like, it seems that pisses me off from a fan standpoint because there's so many movies that deserve a release that are not probably, getting pushed back further and further down the line because resources are going into 3 different versions of Super Cop, and they're all collaborating. Like, most of the special features are going to be the same.
The only thing that pisses me off about that is that they're not announced at the same time.
Yes.
If you could come out and say, announcing Righting Wrongs is coming out from Eureka in the UK and Vinegar Syndrome in the US on these dates, now make your choices as informed consumers, that makes sense. But like Sean and myself, we have both bought the UK release announcement of something only to get it announced like 4 days later for the US. And
I'm at the point now where it's like, you know what, no matter what, 88 Eureka, I'm not going to be getting the Arrow stuff that Eureka is also putting out. It sucks that I have to buy 2 versions of One Arm Boxer. But that was kind of worth the upgrade. But so that's my biggest pet peeve right now is that it seems like a lot of resources are going into films that are already licensed, already have a release date, just different regions. When you should be region free at this point.
I agree there. A couple of comments. Sardis got 2 of the Severin box sets. Did you pay attention to the Severin sale at all?
Yeah, I watched Aaron Pinn buy it and then not buy it.
He did eventually get it back, thankfully. But the Severin box set sale, dude, I have not seen their box sets that price ever. They are astonishingly low. Otis says, speaking about sexual violence, I just watched 4 Hisayasu Sato movies. I don't know that name offhand. To you?
No.
In a row was an interesting night. The VS fan base is truly mind-boggling. So many of those fanboys only buy VS and don't pay much attention to other labels. I agree that is very weird.
It's very weird. And like the stuff they release, like I just like people like you have a complete collection. I think that's cool, but you also have other stuff.
Yeah,
you know, and you're not a weirdo.
Well, and I've been doing that for years. I'm not, you know, I didn't just get Vinegar Syndrome in 2020 and say I need everything now. That would have been awkward.
I just get their martial arts releases. They're bad Billy Blanks movies.
Sardis just said everything we tried to say, but better. If you really want to be a true fan of cinema, you shouldn't mind laying out the money for the equipment to watch film that would otherwise be not available to you. While I agree with that, I just want to also caution us to not be gatekeeping to a lot of people and understand that a lot of it costs money. And even though a lot of these are only getting, Region A releases or Region B releases, a lot of people are just watching some of this on Tubi because they can't afford anything else. And I understand that. Love movies, by all means. Dave says all over the map with labels. Yeah, I mean, I put out 8 different videos on my channel for boutique labels that I collect, and so should you. And each one has at least 10 labels on there.
Fucking wild. That's wild.
Yeah, I have a lot of labels. Let's see. Pet peeves for me. I will say this is an example of one that solved a pet peeve for me. And that is, this was $60. And for a lot of releases like Arrow, they're like, buy the limited edition. You don't know when it's going to be gone. And then 3 months later, announce a standard edition. Second Sight, the day they announced their limited edition, they said, you can buy it in 4K in a standard edition right now for half the price. That is the way to do it. If you want to go balls to the wall and kill it for a $60 release of Drive, please do. But nobody has to do that. If somebody wants to only spend $25 on a 4K release, exactly, do it.
I think Arrow's pretty egregious with their reprints. Like, they're all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason when they're like Battles goes out of print 5 years later, they repackage it. It's just for no reason at all. So,
and then worse than that, during their last sale, they sold them for $5 a piece.
Yeah,
individually.
Yeah, but then they packaged 3 of the standalone films on a nice box set that I want, but I'm not buying all those movies again. You know, I mean, for labels though, every label has disappointed me this year except for 88 and Eureka. Every single label besides those 2. I think Arrow's has had for my taste personally, I know a lot of fans have loved this year so far. For me, it has not been a good year for Arrow. And last year, I think they won my label of the year.
So let's talk about Arrow and most everybody's biggest complaint about Arrow and Scream Factory, which as soon as I say that, I'm sure you know what I'm about to say.
Yep.
4K re-releases. How do we feel about that?
It hasn't affected me yet. so I'm like, but it'd be one thing if they didn't address it every time it happened, but they do. I'm speaking for Arrow, at least. Arrow, once they find out that there's an issue, they say, hey, we'll be sending you a free disc.
Not replacement discs, re-releases of a film they already put out. Now they're putting out a 4K.
Wait, Arrow
and Scream Factory.
Yeah, like
everybody's
RoboCop.
biggest complaint is like RoboCop, 12 Monkeys, The Hills Have Eyes. Donnie Darko, yeah. They put this out in a big fancy Blu-ray, and then a few years later, they put it out in 4K.
I mean, it doesn't bother me because I missed out on a couple of those. Like the RoboCop one, I missed out on the limited edition. I just got the standard. But when they announced, I do think it's kind of BS. It's the exact same packaging. Exact same.
I disagree. I think I think that's the best way to do it, because then the people that bought the Blu-ray and they had the limited edition, they don't feel pressured to buy something else if they're going to collect it. If anything, they can wait and get the standard 4K release because they know they always do that.
What I don't like is with their Argento films, they're like releasing a special edition cover That seems hyper limited. What's the print runs on those?
3,000. It's not hyper
It's not.
limited.
It's not.
No,
It seems like
each
every time
cover-
I go to buy one that's out of print.
each cover is getting like 3,000 or 4,000 pressed.
Maybe I'm just an idiot. Which
The only thing I don't like about that is that for the ones that are in the UK, it's an Arrow site exclusive, so you have to go to the Arrow site.
I want to ask you this with the state of physical media.
Before we go to that, real quick on the 4K re-releases, I think it's a good thing because the people that missed out on the first time, they get another chance at it, and nobody should complain about the limited editions because you either already have the limited edition or you don't need it. It's not that big of a thing. Get the standard later. It's not a big deal. The same packaging is not an argument, I don't think, because again, if you already have the Blu-ray limited packaging, then you already have the packaging. You don't need to worry about the limited. And it should make sense that you don't have to buy two. The only one I think they've done that for is Donnie Darko. That one was very different. And then obviously the Argento special covers that they've done. Let's see. Bubba says, Arrow makes me mad about the 4K re-releases. They use the same packaging. Yeah. Sardis says, I have all those films, maybe not Blu-ray or 4K, but I've seen them. I just ignore the upgrades unless it's a favorite. I only buy a film I see with money. Yeah. Okay, what were you going to ask?
How do you feel about this? About the picks from these labels? Because right now it seems like everyone is jumping on Hong Kong cinema and Chinese cinema in general.
And that's why when I posted in our description tonight that we were going to be talking about trends.
Yes.
I do think that no matter what collective, well, not just collective, but what hobby you're talking about, there will always be trends. And right now, one of the trends is Hong Kong cinema. And one of the trends that has been lasting for years in physical media is like 80s trash horror. And that will always be a trend. That will always sell, undoubtedly. But there are certain things that, you know, they come and go. And Hong Kong cinema is one that I think that it has a couple factors. Martial arts got more popular overall. There started to be a resurgence in more modern martial arts films. I mean, The Raid obviously got a lot of people interested in modern martial arts action. And then on top of that, that law that we've been talking about with Hong Kong cinema that's been in place now for like a year has been a big deal. And I think a lot of people jumping on those and saying, well, now is the time, is going to lead to those coming out.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome, there seemed to be a little pushback from their fans when they announced righting wrongs, like in forums.
They get pushback whenever it's not just 80s and 70s trash cinema and exploitation. I mean, they announced, God, what is the name of that movie? The movie that's a ripoff of Seven, basically, but it came out in 1997. And so many Vinegar Syndrome fans were like, what the fuck? This can't come out. This came out way too late. It's shot on film, which is all that Vinegar Syndrome has ever promised. And it's something that should not be looked down on because it's a Christopher Lambert film that is, yes, thank you, Anthony. It's Resurrection. It's very much in the vein of a lot of other Vinegar Syndrome titles. And it's just because it's from a late 90s title that everybody's like, what is this? I mean, come on.
So I do agree with what you and Nerd said about the law. But my problem is that they are going for a lot of safe bets. They're going for a lot of the comfort food. You know what I mean? Police Story, surefire hit. There's no reason why we have to have Super Cop in three different versions. You have the box set, the standalone from Eureka, and the 88 films release. There's no reason why we need that. And as much as I love the Shawscope box set, we know most of the films in Volume 2, and all of them are safe bets, and most of them are from two directors, Lockhart Long and Chang Cheng. So they're just playing it super safe. And if they truly, I feel like if companies truly wanted to preserve these movies, they would dig a little deeper. I mean, the fact that the Shawscope box set is supposed to be a chronological look at these movies, but there's no movie from the 60s in that box set. Like, not one is represented from the 60s. It's from 1970 onward.
Well, they did say that each of the Shawscope volumes was going to be chronological. They never said that all of them together would be chronological. So we still could get some from the 60s.
All the movies that they picked for 2 I think are coming after what's in Shawscope 1.
Correct. But they've also stated that they have enough to do a third volume, and they haven't decided yet.
Good.
Now, the other thing I will push back on this is a lot of the ones that we're calling safe with stuff like Shaw Brothers titles, those are the ones that have been popular for years and have therefore been preserved the best. So a lot of the other ones, they don't have the same level of elements. So it's much more difficult to restore those things. And either they're in the process, they're just taking a long time to restore, or they simply can't restore them. And they're unfortunately gone already. But then the third thing, they're also a company and they have to make profit. So, of course, that's going to be a part of it.
Also, the other thing that bothers me with the whole Shaw Brothers movie releases is that 88's been putting them out for years. And they put out One Armed Swordsman, but we don't have the sequel or the 2 sequels at all. Their their Flying Guillotine trilogy is broken up between regions. The first and the third are Region B.
Yep.
The second one's Region A and Region B. So, still no Better Tomorrow or Election Films. Better Tomorrow trilogy has a release from Nova, I think, in Korea with English subtitles that is about as good as those movies are going to look. So, but the Election Films, I agree, deserve a release.
I will also caution about Nova, though, is you and I have heard about them potentially stealing people's artwork and putting them on releases. So maybe a company I'm going to be thinking twice about supporting much.
Yep.
Which sucks because I love their work. I mean, I didn't get this in that long ago, but I have the Chinese Ghost Story trilogy from them, and I'm really needing to dive into this.
You haven't seen those?
I've seen most of the first one. I've never seen any of the sequels.
Warning, there's Chinese people in it.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Do they take returns?
But, I mean, but I'm saying this as someone who's just so passionate about these movies.
Right.
And it's great that we have Crippled Avengers in a new scan that looks fucking fantastic. Like, I love that. But, I don't know. I'm just being too picky. But then you have companies like Eureka putting out a Joseph Quo box set, which was just mind-blowing. The films, like, those movies they are like B, C tier films. And they're getting this prestige release. And it's still in print. That box set's still in print. Fucking go buy that. That thing is incredible.
Of course.
But what do you think the next trend's going to be?
Next trend I foresee being probably some late 90s to early 2000s. Unfortunately, these come in waves, and that type of nostalgia is about to hit hard. Like, proof of that, they're about to release That 90s Show, I believe, with a lot of the family returning. And
from that 70s show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it's coming to Netflix.
Okay, so it's going to be bad.
I mean, most likely, but either way, it is on trend. Like, a lot of people, they tend to get nostalgic for things about 20 years old. So the things from the early 20s to the late 90s, early 2000s to the late 90s is going to be, super indicative of what people are liking. And I definitely see it going down that road. Chester says, looking forward to the Hitcher 4K. Do you know which label owns the rights? That is coming from Second Sight in the UK. And in the US, I would imagine it would be a Warner title, whether that be Warner Archive or Warner Brothers puts it out as a 4K, or they don't release it at all. Who
And
knows?
Chester, you gotta see the size of the Second Sight release. It's literally about this thick. It actually comes in a hitchhiking sign. That's how
There's
big
6
it is.
books.
It's got a fucking. They're all hardcover encyclopedias. It's wild. It
Has a
comes with
copy of
life-size action figure of the main character.
has a copy of The Road in it.
Have you read that book?
Decades ago, yeah.
Cormac McCarthy, man.
Flickering says, yes, but some of us are playing catch-up or lost track of certain genres. Exactly. Rights will always complicate films getting re-released, unfortunately. This is true.
See,
This is very, very true.
This is where my brain kicks in, where I only collect 3 genres, and it's fantastic.
Right.
I don't have to worry about anything. I just, new Western, buy.
And that's the thing about these like safe films, like Thriller selling 10,000 copies from Vinegar Syndrome. Like, obviously, each one didn't cost them $60 to produce, and they did make some profit on every single release. But now they can pick up, maybe 10 more titles that they will only produce with the money that came from that one title.
But also, what this is going to say to other labels is people are willing to spend $60 for one movie.
I don't quite think that's true. There are only a handful of labels that can really pull things like that. And,
I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing that from Arrow.
Oh, yeah. Arrow, absolutely. Well, they're kind of already doing it. It's around like 40 to 50 for some of these.
How much is Criterion's 4Ks? They're about 60, right?
I mean, MSRP is 70.
What?
But
Holy shit.
Nobody ever pays more than half off of that. So the 4Ks go for 35. And then something like Citizen Kane, I think that was 40 at 50% off.
What does MSRP stand for? My sexy
Manufacturer's suggested retail price.
Oh.
So essentially they're saying if you own a storefront and you want to maximize your profits, this is what we're telling you should sell it for.
So it's not My Sexy Ravioli Pizza?
It is in Illinois specifically. Yeah, so they're saying at Barnes & Noble, they're saying you should sell each of the, you should sell Miller's Crossings for $39.99. And Barnes & Noble is going to say, this will never sell at that price. We can't do it. We'll sell it for $28. And they'll sell.
But how much do they buy it from Criterion for? That's what I want to
know. Barnes & Noble gets a fairly good discount. I'm betting each one is around $16 to $17.
That's still a good chunk of change.
And Amazon gets about the same price from them. And then you go look at somebody like Mike from Grindhouse, which, if you want a larger discussion on this exact topic about Criterion specifically, I had him on my channel earlier this year.
Great interview.
And we talked about this, and he was saying that when he saw prices from his wholesaler, he was only getting them for like 23 or 24 and would have to sell them on a site for 29 or 30 just to make any money. And so sometimes he would buy them in bulk from Amazon just to save the money and be able to have them on a site.
Hey, that's fucking smart.
It is, but he also doesn't want to support Amazon because they're screwing people like him.
He seemed like a really good guy. He's a great guy. He was so friendly, so nice. Reminded me a lot of myself and how I view certain things. We should have him on this show.
I would love to invite him. I might try to do that.
What did he say was their most profitable? Like what label is the nicest?
What label's the nicest, or what sells most for him?
Like, what label gives him the best pricing?
I don't think he went into that specifically.
Okay.
But you got to realize in the U.S., and I don't know how many people realize this, but Neil says almost all Criterion 4Ks are $49.99. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of something different, because Targets are $35 on sale right now. So he's probably right. The 4Ks are probably $25 during a sale.
Still, $50 for a movie.
Right. Most people, if you don't know this, there's basically one distribution company in the U.S. for all these boutiques. Technically, there's like 3, but really there's only one. MVD does all of the distribution for Arrow, for Kino, for Unearthed Films, for Severin, for they just got Cult Epics. They do all the MVD titles. They do most everyone else that are smaller. Shout kind of does their own. They go through Alliance Entertainment. Vinegar Syndrome does their own through OCN Distribution. And then I think Synapse goes through someone else as well. And then there is Cav Distribution, but I don't even know who they have anymore that's big, or even if they're still operational. Jeff says Mike hates Kino. I don't think he does anymore. He found out that the person that was kind of screwing him is no longer in his upline. So he's a little more okay with Kino.
Dude, like the way he was talking about the supply chain and like who he talks to reminds me of when I have to order stuff like flour. like who I have a go-to guy. When he's not there, it is a pain in the
Falls
ass.
apart.
It falls apart. It's like you have to have like your guy.
Neil is correct. When they're half off, they are 25. So that was my bad. Yeah, I'm
Hey,
thinking
look,
of
a fellow WAP setting the record straight. Look at that.
Neil's a good friend.
Is he a WAP?
I don't know.
He's got to be only a half a WAP because no motherfucker's naming their Italian kid Neil.
DeStefano sounds pretty Italian.
DeStefano is an Italian name.
So yeah, distribution gets wild. I do know from how much should I say about that? I do know from previous talks behind the scenes that there are certain labels, and I'm going to use the partner label word interchangeably. This does not mean Vinegar Syndrome specifically, but there are a lot of partners. Like Kino has Code Red and Cohen. Shout Factory has their different lines under them. There's a handful of labels that all have partner labels. They all just use basically the distribution chain above them. From what I hear, a lot of these smaller labels that are only partner labels, when they sell something through the parent label site, they're only getting like $7 or $8.
It's wild. That's disgusting.
It is so small.
Do WAPs eat at Burger King over McDonald's? So first off, that's the wrong spelling. That stands for wet ass pussies, is what you spell. It's WOP. Get your racism right, brother. I think it's safe to say that we are a McDonald's family. You know, when it comes to fast food, I think Burger King is better, but they're farther away.
I think Burger King, so the right Burger Kings, like if they're on top of it, customer service and food handling, all that wise, it will always be better than McDonald's. But it's so much harder to find a good one.
Anthony's right with that. I've been to Olive Garden once in my life, and I caught fire. I started burning.
Purposefully only go. I've gone like 3 times in my life.
It's disgusting. It's fucking. It's terrible. I think it's worse than Fazoli's.
Fazoli's is so bad.
Fazoli's is bad. That's how bad Olive Garden is.
Oh,
Unlimited breadsticks. Nah.
Breadsticks for days.
Dude, so the way that we do our breadsticks, they're homemade, right? But we use the same dough that we use for our pizza crust, but we cook it differently. And we hand cut them. So some of them are tiny. I am not xenophobic, so can't guarantee spelling home of the Whopper. I want to put that whole sentence on his shirt. That's awesome. But the way we do our breadsticks is we cut them by hand. So sometimes they're thin and sometimes they're fucking thicker than a Snicker. And we put them on top of the oven and they rise up. Some dumb bitch called us and was like, "You sold me hot dog buns." And I was like, "No, man, we didn't sell you hot dog buns. That's just how our breadsticks are. Some of them are skinny, some of them are fat." Were they good? She's like, "Yeah, but they're a hot dog." But we thought she was joking, right? So fast forward like a month later, I see a Facebook thread in one of the groups around here about our restaurant. All positive comments, except for some lady goes, "Yeah, my friend ordered breadsticks from them, and they sold her hot dog buns." And I commented, I said, "No, we didn't sell her hot dog buns." And she tagged the woman, and I was like, "Your friend's lying." And then I made a video right then and there showing the different sizes of our breadsticks. Thread got deleted. And now people still call, and because they saw that, they think it's funny. They're like, "You guys got hot dog buns?"
So anyways, distribution gets wild, and all the behind the scenes of that is crazy. MVD again owns like almost everybody, so that's why like Orbit DVD, they get all the Arrow, all the Kino, and all those other things like 3 weeks in advance because they're all coming from the same place.
MVD has their own label too, right?
Yes, and they've got a couple different sub labels. They've got MVD Marquee, MVD Rewind, MVD Classics, or something like that. There's a lot. And if this sort of minutia of like distribution and that sort of talk excites you, not to give too big of a greasy hint or anything like that, but I would suggest coming to my channel on Thursday because I have a whopper of a guest that's going to be on live, and it's going to be
You just
pretty
used
damn
two
exciting.
racial slurs towards Italians in one sentence: greasy and wop. How'd you feel I called you a sun-dried tomato?
I'd say that's fairly accurate. But yeah, Thursday on my channel is going to be a
Who
really
is it?
good night. I think I've told my patrons, so I will let that stay with them until Thursday morning. And if I haven't told my patrons, let me know and I'll put it in the Discord because I could have swore I said it last week.
Jeff said Italians invented hot dogs. Probably. We're also most of American culture is based on us. Sopranos, Martin Scorsese, pizza, spaghetti.
Oh, that's American culture.
Name something more American than eating a fucking pizza pie while watching Sopranos.
None of the Americans call it pizza pie, first of all.
It's pizza pie. I think overall, though, we're in a good state, but I do think inflation is going to eventually hit us.
Well, and beyond that, the argument that you made earlier is absolutely true. This has not been as good of a start of a year as the last probably 3 years. And that's not to say it's been a bad year. There's been a lot of solid releases. It's just not at the like the fire hose level that we were getting things.
It was last year was nuts.
Yeah.
Last year was absolutely bonkers.
I do know for a fact it's going to be a wild fall, though. There's some stuff that has not been announced yet that is going to be pretty huge.
You have to tell me off air. Martin Scorsese box set from Vinegar Syndrome
In 4K.
all 4K. Goodfellas, Godfather. Oh, not Godfather. God damn it! I got my wobs wrong.
With him explaining why each one is cinema.
You know, I do agree with him though. Like cranky old man.
This is a tired argument. Isn't
Isn't Taxi Driver getting a 4K?
It already has one in the Columbia Classics.
Is it getting a Criterion? Maybe. I
I
don't
don't know
know.
about that.
Chef Boyardee is awesome. Easy there, bud.
There is rumors of a standalone 4K coming. That's it.
Are you talking about huge packaging? What's up, D-Flex? I think overall, I mean, we're in a good state. I do think things are slow because of the supply issue, probably. I mean, Arrow came out and said that they're going to halt some releases to make sure that they turn out better than they were because of...
Which I got to give them props. That is a big deal to say that in public.
I mean, they're going to take a hit financially by not meeting deadlines. So,
Well, and then on top of that, in 2 months, they're only putting out 4 titles.
that's crazy.
I mean,
hopefully
that's a
they'll
label
take
that
this
used
time
to announce like 8 a month, and they're only doing 4 in 2 months.
Hopefully they take this time to fire Simon Abrams.
He's not an employee.
Just not work with him. I don't know.
I will say, since we're speculating about the future, I think it's really cool that Fran Simeone from Arrow, even though he left, it's really cool that he's doing his own thing. And
the people he has working with him is fucking
Yeah.
primo. And he accepted my friend request on Facebook. Maybe I'll get him on the show.
I was about to say I'm already in the process of trying to get him.
Really? For here?
I'm going to try for both.
Man, that would be great. D-Flex says he just saw the new Black Adam trailer. How do you feel about Black Adam?
I'm very much not a fan of The Rock.
Hell yeah. It's just The Rock
I
doing rock shit. Just like
I was about to say, I've seen The Rock in a movie about like 12 years ago, so I've seen all of his movies.
He's the only guy that looks like that, and he just does the same fucking movie every time.
I won't say he's the only guy that looks like that. Dave Bautista is pretty close, but Dave Bautista has range.
He's a dude. Blade Runner, he's phenomenal.
Everything.
In that movie.
Not just Blade Runner. I mean, even fucking Guardians. He's incredible in that.
He's really good. He's a monster of a man. That's how I want to look. That's how I'm trying to look. Like Brock Lesnar. I say we remake Running Man and just hire Batista, Rock, Brock Lesnar. Just have them kill each other. Even Arnold's still jacked.
I want to see Arnold make a couple more good movies.
I don't think he has it in him.
I don't think so either. I miss him.
I miss
80s and 90s Arnie was great.
I think Sly's still doing good work. He's good in the Creed movies.
I think the Creed movies are an anomaly. They should not be as good as they are.
They are so fucking good, dude. Michael B. Jordan's, I think that's his only good role too.
Ooh, that's a hot take. I think he's genuinely a great actor.
He picks a lot of bad projects.
I mean, I won't argue with that at all. I even like the shitty, like Black Panther, he was really good in.
Did you say shitty movie in Black Panther?
Well, as we laid to rest on this show, Black Panther is fairly low ranking for both. I mean, not like low. It's just not as high as society made it out to be.
Well, it's just because we're both racist.
Don't lump me into that.
I'm just kidding, guys. We already did our pickups, Flex. Dave says Arnold could play the Richard Dawson character in a Running Man remake. Yeah?
Michael B. Jordan was great in Fruitvale Station. I will throw that out there as well.
He is making one more Expendables, but Sylvester Stallone is not in it. Or he's in it for a few minutes. Like he's in it briefly.
Yeah, it's a cameo.
Those movies should have been better. I think that's one of cinema's greatest crimes, is not making those movies be better. They should have been fucking awesome. Captain Lou Albano as Mario over The Rock's movie career. I mean, the Rock's got what? What's a great Rock movie? Not a good, a great Rock movie. Walking Tall?
Oh yeah, probably.
That's about it.
That's probably the best.
It's like the more roided out he gets, the worse his movies get. Because in Walking Tall, he wasn't super ripped.
I will say, unironically, I really liked the first Jumanji movie, in spite of The Rock, not because of The Rock. I think Jack Black was fucking brilliant in that first Jumanji movie.
Jack Black is great in almost everything.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the Fast and the Furious movies, but I just like those movies. They're terrible.
Artists like Skyscraper. Fuck? I've not seen it.
It's not good.
But it's got Neve Campbell, and she's really hot. And I got a picture with her.
Who's all in that picture? Is that the one with Jeremy looking like a doofus? Yeah, there he is.
Really poor quality with the reflection.
I love Jeremy. I'm curious if more one-man productions like Gold Ninja or Mondo Macabre can make it in the boutique Blu-ray world, or will more have to partner with OCN and able to survive.
Well, also, Mondo Macabro is certainly not a one-man operation. They've got Jared, but that's not even... Jared's essentially just an employee at Mondo. Pete Toombs is the main man behind Mondo. He's just rarely in the United States. He operates primarily out of Europe, so he is just not the face of the company. But it is a good question. I think Gold Ninja is doing decent. I think the main reason that he's able to survive is because he does a lot of essentially free titles. He doesn't have to pay for rights for public domain items, and then he's going to certain directors like the Moturn Media guys and getting stuff for very cheap. And I'm curious how they are able to keep going.
I got hungry. I'm starving.
Wanting to look like Brock Lesnar, but instead. Yeah. Oh, nice. Gas station sushi. I'm curious if we're going to get anybody like Gold Ninja that comes out and makes a name for themselves, because I mean, theoretically, we could all be doing exactly what Gold Ninja's doing. He's got a decent 10-disc burner at home. makes burn discs, buys cases, prints out the cover art for it, and puts out public domain films. And he made some good choices, and people started paying attention. And he got a Kickstarter and got enough money to buy a film scanner. And that's something that anybody on this thread could do with really not that much money. Flip is going to do it, except he has to eat sushi. So now he's bankrupt.
Dude, the sushi's good. It's got a piece of salmon at the very top right here. All right, a little bit of salmon. On the inside, it's I think it's a piece of lemon and shrimp. It's really good.
Lemon? Interesting. Flex wants to know, are the Tiger Cage movies any good?
First two are great.
I figured specifically you were going to say either the first one or the first two.
They're directed by Yuen Woo-ping. So even like just from like an action standpoint, they're fucking awesome. They're worth picking up.
The Rock should be in a remake of The Rock, and he can do an accent.
The Rock should play a rock in everything, everywhere, all at once.
That's really funny.
Do you smell?
You just blew out like 9 set of speakers.
What a guy. Hey guys, it's Rock. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm rocking out. I'm working out.
Are there any other hot takes or anything on the state of physical media you want to talk about?
Hot take. Vinegar syndrome is the criterion for people who don't shower.
That's probably pretty accurate.
Okay.
What's going on, Skulder?
How is The Valley of Violence? The Ty West movie? It's okay. All right. I think it's Ty West's worst movie.
I just remembered, since we're talking about the films with the Rock, if you count it, I think Moana is really good. I think he was fit to be in that film. But that's it.
Yeah. What can I say except you're welcome? That whole 2019, my 2019 most played playlist on Apple Music is literally the entire Frozen soundtrack, the entire Moana soundtrack, and then just like Wu-Tang Clan. So it's just like if you're going through it, you're like, this guy has schizophrenia or he has a child. It's one or the other.
Why not both?
I figured I would ask Mr. Western. Yeah, it's a good movie. I mean, it's all right. I do think it's Ty West's worst movie. I don't think he should direct westerns. He should stick with horror movies. He's really good at that.
This is true. Have you seen The Innkeepers from him? I think The Innkeepers is highly slept on.
He did with The Devil's House or whatever.
The House of the Devil.
Whatever. The Devil's Abode.
Yep.
Yeah. Satan's Abode.
Yep, that's the one.
That's a great movie. That's got like an old 70s feel to it.
It really does.
That's a great fucking movie. Horror movies, not that bad.
Turns out the genre's pretty good.
The genre's pretty good. Yeah. No samurais in them most of the time.
Most of the time, not all the time.
No, but most of the time. Have you seen Human Lanterns yet?
I still don't have it.
What?
Because you know how I do shit. I pre-order like 14 titles at once in one order.
14. I think that's underselling it.
No, per order.
I know. Like the last time you showed me your order list, it was like 40 titles.
No. Not like all that I have pre-ordered, but one order is 14 titles.
Okay.
I may have 8 orders out there, but
How do you wait?
I stand on a scale.
How much do you weigh?
Way too fucking much to say on this stream.
I weighed myself the other day, and I am solid 300 now. So that's fun.
I would pay to weigh 300 pounds right now.
I'm benching 405, so it's a little. It balances itself out. This gut can do something.
Oh man, yeah, I got a lot of stuff on pre-order, and then fucking Target this week. Are you getting anything from them?
Nah.
That's
Actually,
the best-
yes. Taylor got
that
me
is
a
the
gift-
best
a
sale of
gift
the
card
year.
from Target. Yeah. When's that going on?
Right now, best
Oh.
sale of the year.
Shit. All right.
And
Best
pre-orders
sale
are
of the year?
pre-orders are counting for buy two get one free.
Wow. Okay. We should work out together. We should be workout buddies.
No,
Why?
I don't have time or energy for that right now.
Just get a dumbbell. 10
Not
minutes.
to
of
mention,
workout.
I have one foot basically. That's the hardest part for me.
You don't have to use your foot for bench press or curls.
To a point. I mean, you still got to plant, and I'm not to talk about this on here, but I'm like in chronic pain. I'm always hurting.
Yeah. It's like my nut. It's always
Kind of, yeah.
hurts. Hurts right now. You
Except
see me
I
like
use my
bouncing
foot
around
more.
sometimes like on stream where I'm like twisting and turning. It's because like the motion, it just feels good on my balls. Not in a sexual way. And
This took a weird turn.
it sucks getting old, man. Like my back is always hurting, fucking my shoulder. The joint is gotta be rubbing in the socket because every time I move it, it's just pop, 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 like pop, pop, pop. It hurts.
When I got home from California, my left foot, the problem foot, was like the size of a grapefruit for the next 4 days at least.
Did your wife massage it?
Oh, God, no. I'd probably kick her in the ear.
Really?
Oh yeah, it is not like it hurts to touch it. It hurts like laying down on the couch watching TV. If cold air hits it, it's bad.
Ryan, I want to take care of you. Makes me sad. My foot, I've been having Taylor rub my right foot because it's fucked. Now, nowhere near what you're going through, but like there's something going on where like if the sides get pinched at all, excruciating pain. So I'm like, we just rub my foot, and then sometimes she's like not paying attention, and she just grabs the sides, and I'm like, ah.
Now that we're talking about this, I'm going to pull up and screen share my surgery pictures. No, I'm just kidding.
Do it, yeah, it'd be great.
Hell no.
we could review them.
This stream would get cut down from YouTube so quick.
It doesn't get better, Flip. Jeff, how old are you?
Oh, and what's your credit card number? And the little 3-digit code on the back.
And what's your social security card number?
Social security card number. Any labels that you have given up on?
Criterion.
Like fully given up on?
Unless they release something that's just incredible,
Wow.
then no. Yeah, I could not care less. Severin. The only Severin stuff in my collection is what you've bought me. That's the only stuff from them that's in my collection.
I mean, if you were digging some Giallo films, I think they've got a few that you would actually really like.
I don't think I will ever buy a Severin release. Just not my.
You'd probably really like Santa Sangre too, because it's very much not like the rest of the Severin stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Just Criterion, really. I only get this number situation. You're 50, Jeff? Dang.
Look at his profile picture. That makes sense.
I mean, no. I would have that as my profile picture. 20 years older than me. That's not that bad.
I have not given up on Criterion, and I think it's July. I think they genuinely have a really good slate coming.
I mean, like when they like, I still like see their announcements, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, but nothing that's made me want to go, oh, I gotta have that.
Like next month, they're putting out the Safdie brothers, their early release.
Which one?
Go to their site.
What is the average age for a stream?
Probably up there, like
Probably
55.
like 48.
Daddy Longlegs. That's the Safdie's brothers one coming, and that is from 2009. And then they're doing Frownland, which is from Ronald Braunstein, which I never expected them to do. And then they're doing Hotel du Nord and Buck and the Preacher and Faya Day, Devil
Buck
in
and
the
the Preacher
Bluegrass,
seems
Drive
like-
My Car, Raging Bull in 4K. There's a lot of good stuff.
I take back what I said. I gotta get Raging Bull, man. One of the story behind that movie is the boxer that's in that movie. He went to the opening night with his wife, and he looked at her and goes, "Was I that bad to you?" And she goes, "You were worse." That's a great movie. Speaking of boxing, have you been watching any boxing? Do you watch any sports? Combat
Never.
sports? You watch MMA, UFC, or anything?
Never.
There's this.
I've watched probably 5 matches in my life total.
There's a UFC fighter named Yuri. I can't pronounce his last name. He's from the
Bulgarian.
He's from Czech, whatever. Anyways, he studies Japanese samurai fighting styles. Like has adopted. Like they call him the Czech samurai. And Google him real quick. Just type in Jiri. I'm sure the rest will pop up. It's like Bashkov or something.
Yuri Prochaska.
Yeah, and pull up his haircut because it's incredible. It's fucking wild. I love it. But he just got the light heavyweight belt. Dude's an absolute monster. He's a beast. That fight with Texas is just with Tejas. Well, it's just one of the best of all times. I'm 19, and you guys' videos are super helpful when it comes to collecting. What's up, Zach? Yeah, look, dude, man, that guy's a fucking beast. Look at that hair. That guy's a beast. That's a good haircut.
Oh, it opened up in a new tab, and you can't even see it because it's a different tab. Damn it.
Great. But, yeah, you can see it perfectly on here. It's great. He's a monster, man. Monster, absolute beast of a man. Been watching a lot of sumo as well this last couple weeks. Sumo wrestlers are fucking scary. Those dudes are so athletic. It's nuts.
For many of reasons. I mean, the fact that they have to eat so many calories every day, I could never keep up with that.
I would be unathletic if I ate that many calories. But they work out all day. That's all they do, and they stretch. They're so flexible. Google the Wolf Sumo. His name is Chion Fuji.
Chiano Fuji Mitsugu.
Yeah, look at him. This guy was a fucking Chad, absolute Chad. Yeah, look at him, dude. That guy's muscular as fuck. That one picture up above where he's just jacked. Look at that. Fucking the dude's scary. Look at that guy. That guy won. He got to the highest rank of sumo. Yokozuna. That guy in that last picture? No, the bald guy. He died of COVID. Rest in peace.
Ouch.
Rest in peace. Yeah, I have I don't know if I've ever showed it on stream, but I have a signed autograph of my favorite sumo wrestler.
That's awesome.
He just retired. Hakuo. He's like the Tom Brady.
Sorry, just got you there.
Google. Oh God, never mind. I was gonna have you Google something very funny, Sardis, but can't think of the name. Can't think of it. Bailey. Fuck. Never mind.
Sardis, Google Bailey fuck. Anything else from our topic tonight you want to touch on? Anything that's gotten you mad lately? Because there is one thing I wanted to throw out there.
What?
Fans of physical media and boutiques, they suck so much lately.
Dude, they're off.
Everybody complaining when it's not delivered in 2 days. Everybody complaining. I mean, we talked about pricing earlier, but I also understand that 4K discs and licensing for some of these, they cost a lot. So a title coming out for $40 is not surprising sometimes. There are some of these releases that are going to piss people off. The replacement discs. I mean, we touched on it earlier a little bit, but it's something we've talked about multiple times before. It's such a joke.
I think the fans are pretty fucking annoying. Every comment section. Release this obscure horror movie that no one's ever heard of from 1983. People just getting upset for no reason. Or what I love is that there's a couple of YouTubers too that every time Arrow makes a mistake, they're like, "I will never support Arrow again." Yeah, some people do complain for the sake of complaining. We have. I had someone bitch at me that our pizza took too fast the other day. I was like, I mean, we can schedule it. Like, I don't know why you're getting angry.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Ugh.
Just don't be one of those fans. There's
Be one of
so
those fans.
much.
Be one of the fans in the chat.
Or like, if it's in the middle of a sale and you have to ask about something and you email a company and they don't get back to you within an hour or something, it is the most busy time of the year for that company.
Sardis, I don't get that reference. What is that? Do you know?
Oh, well, first, when you go to a cat house, do you complain because the gorgeous gal cost more than Twiggy?
Is that a reference to a movie from Bulgaria in 1936 or something? Like what?
I'm making a lot of assumptions. I think I understand it, but I won't assert my belief there.
I don't understand it.
It sounds like he's talking about a prostitution house.
Have you ever
That's close.
have you ever been with a prostitute?
No. Like in the same room?
No, just no.
Oh, no.
No. Would you?
I mean, if the circumstances were right, I have nothing against sex workers. Will people buy less when prices go up or just bitch about it?
I think they're bitch about it.
Yes, to both. I think that inevitably we are going to have people start to buy less because the economy is fucked. People have to buy a roof over their head before they buy 4K releases.
If Eureka releases start being $50, you're gonna see me doing a lot of this on stream. Just Mitsuga. Just fucking $50.
I think people certainly will have to pay less, but yeah, everybody's just going to complain. No matter what.
I wonder what 88's going to do next. They're almost done. We got the artwork for Flying Guillotine 2. Looks great. Got the final 2 releases, and then that lineup's done.
You know what I just realized? We got told last year that 101 Films was coming to the U.S., and it's June, and they haven't announced anything yet.
101 Films?
Yeah. They announced that what is the title? The Last Broadcast. That was coming out in the UK, and then it was also going to be coming out in the US in 2022 because they were coming to the US.
Maybe
and it's now June, and we haven't gotten anything.
I put $100 in my Honda Accord.
Ooh.
Wow. That sucks.
When I got off the plane in LA, one of the first gas stations I saw was $6.59 a gallon.
I hopped off the plane from LAX and the gas was $6.66. I looked at the sign and said, "What the fuck? I can't believe this shit." Thanks, Biden.
Oh man, my we have a Honda Odyssey minivan, and that thing was $84 to fill up the other day.
Ooh.
That thing's got a big gas tank, and we're only, I think we're at we're at like 4 something a gallon. We're not at 5 yet. I'm still amazed. They just said gas nationally per gallon hit $5 average for the first time ever in history, which is crazy.
She's been locked up all day. Look at her. Oh, okay. Don't lick my ear, dude. Say hi to the friends. Say hi. Don't be shy. Oh, okay. She's actually hugging me. She's actually sad. Oh, good.
470. I mean, even that's high.
Wait, where? Where are you at, Chester? In the middle of the forest? Wow. What's this dog? Hey, calm down. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing? He almost fell, and then she just started flipping out.
Flipping out. Nice.
Hey, sweet girl. Oh, we love you so.
Chester's in Wisconsin.
Yeah, but you have to fucking be a Packers fan, so, I mean...
You don't have to, but basically you have to.
Fuck the Packers. And fuck the Bears, too. I'm in Illinois. Fuck the Bears.
Wisconsin's pretty nice.
You
like
guys
Wisconsin.
got a great team, though. Kansas City. Go Chiefs. Are you a football guy?
Not even a little bit. I'm very much a fair weather fan for football.
What do you, Whoa, Jesus Christ, so... Do you like any sports?
I mean, not really. I was really into basketball growing up in Southern California. I was huge into the Lakers. I worshipped Kobe and Shaq, especially Shaq. I worshipped the Lakers when it was Vlade Divac and Nick Van Exel. And then the next full, round of Lakers players came and changed all of that to being able to win. That was amazing. I grew up liking baseball because I played baseball a lot, and then moving here, the Royals were decent in 2014 and 15, and now they're trash, so I just don't care. Although I did go to the Dodgers game when I was in LA.
How was that?
It was amazing, but not because of the game, really. It was amazing because one of my patrons is the broadcast director for the Mets and got us into the game where the players' families sit. And after we were done, we went out to the media truck and got to sit in and watch how they were putting everything on TV.
What's everyone's favorite football team in the chat? Ryan's such a fucking lucky fuck.
We also got put on TV that night, and I happened to be wearing a Disconnected shirt.
That's awesome. What's everyone's Sardis watches pool and billiards. Used to play horseshoes professionally.
I like all the trick shots for that stuff.
Sardis, there's a lot of jokes I can make about your age because you used to play horseshoes professionally. Oh my God, everyone. Thank God Jeremy Long's back. I feel like after sending Jeremy that text message, we can't joke hate each other anymore. I genuinely love the guy. What a good guy that Jeremy Long is. I'm lucky to call him a friend.
I agree.
I'm lucky to call you a friend. I love you.
Same to you.
I love everyone in the chat, except
he's trying to be mean to somebody, but can't think of anybody.
except for, I mean, I like everyone in the chat, so I know. Bosnia? Not Ryan, Jeremy, I'm going to come to LA and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sardis used to pitch horseshoes professionally. That's such a cool claim to fame.
See, that was my joke. I was like, what the fuck? I love you too, Jeremy. Sorry, Jeff. Hey, the Lions, their coach seems like he's a very passionate guy. He seems like he's the right guy for the job. So this is now Kick Connected, the sports podcast. I could start an MMA podcast. I love that shit. You didn't even like watch MMA like during like the Conor McGregor hype? Nothing?
No.
Do you like it? Like if it's on, would you turn it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's not interesting.
You don't want to see two muscle-bound men beat each other?
No.
He fell asleep on me 2 nights in a row. It was great.
I certainly did.
Man, is Jeremy that boring in real life?
No, I was that exhausted.
Oh, man. I have a very inappropriate joke for you off air.
Well, that, and I ate real bad when I was in LA. Like, we had I think Jeremy and I alone together had burgers 2 or 3 times, and they were like burgers. They were huge. And then, just get home and just crash.
I feel like crashing right now from that sushi. Cars, man. Cars will fuck you. I have so much work to do, so I have to move all these clothes into a box.
I made a spicy Cajun chicken pasta for dinner tonight.
Oh, I thought you said for Jeremy. I was like, fuck.
Nope, did not cook in LA at all.
We got ice
Nice.
in the chat. I love
It's
that.
been
guy.
a long time. What's going on?
Flicker says, I used to be a big football fan, but seeing an NFL game in person ruined the sport for me. Very
Interesting.
fair-weather Bucks and Gators fan at this point.
What in person ruined it, Terry? I'd love to hear about that because I like baseball more in person.
I like a lot of things more in person.
Man, Counter was good, but I almost preferred the second place we went to in Pasadena.
Whoa.
He took me to a place called Pie and Burger, and that's because they're known for pies and burgers. And it was so like 1950s perfect diner. This place has not changed in 55 years. It was great.
Ryan didn't make me shit. Wow. What an ass. Ryan, that's not nice. You can't be
Jeremy,
like-
I've already told you, you come to Missouri and I will cook for you and take you to movies.
Yeah, but he has to come to fucking Missouri.
I went to fucking LA.
Yeah, you're the cook going to a nice place. He has to go to Missouri.
But I'm here.
That's true, but you versus the entire state of Missouri. Or the whole
I mean-
Midwest in general.
Yeah, that's true.
We still need to meet up. I can't believe you met someone in LA before we met him.
I've met multiple patrons before you.
We're going to have to plan it. August, we're taking a break, so we have to do something. I'm thinking about maybe going to Utah for a UFC fight.
You know what's on the way?
Huh?
I said, you know what's on the way? Missouri.
Like,
Just parachute.
okay. Yeah, it's Kamaru Usman defending his belt against Leon Edwards.
Those are words, I think.
Kamaru Usman is, if he defends it this time, he might be the greatest of his division of all time. Absolutely insane. He broke Colby Covington's jaw in one of their fights. Punched him so hard it broke his jaw. Pretty awesome.
All right.
There was fans of you guys that came up to you at Monster Palooza.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
What's odd to me, I had one of those moments. I had one couple that recognized me by my voice. I wasn't even facing them. And I heard them say, that sounds like Ryan. And then I turned around and they said, that is Ryan. And there's Jeremy. He's been on the channel too.
People were like, oh my God, Jeremy, the writer for Supermarket Shuffle. I'm such a big fan. Wow, I can't believe you're here.
Wow.
Jeremy, you're the guy who ripped off that Netflix movie. So glad to see you in the flesh.
It's Jeremy. Don't you hate Flip?
If I was with you guys, they'd be like, "Where's Flip?" And you guys would just go look down. I'd be like, "Hi, I'm up here."
Did we talk about that on here? I felt so bad that week because Jeremy's not short. Jeremy. How tall are you? He's like 6'2" ish probably. And then one of the patrons that I met up with, he's 6'2", but it was me and Brian that were walking around the whole time. I'm 6'5". Brian is 6'7".
Oh, you
So-
poor things.
We were walking around the entire place, just towering over everybody.
Yeah, you poor things. I'm 5'6". You poor motherfuckers. Oh, we're so tall. We tower over everybody.
I mean, it's not. It's kind of a blessing and a curse. It's not great.
Don't even. I'm 5'6".
My joints are trash.
I'm 5'6".
Yeah.
My wife's taller than me.
Jeremy's 6'2", and we made him feel short.
Give any autographs yet? Did you sign any tits?
Only my own. I did not give any autographs, no.
Did you run into Cool Duder?
I saw him, and I talked to Wet Movie 1.
Were they nice?
Sure. I didn't talk to Cool Duder, so I don't know.
Did you see Jeff from Films at Home?
He doesn't leave Boston.
I love him. He's so factually correct and just awesome.
Let's not go down that route.
Well, I love him. I'm not joking. I love Jeff from Films at Home.
All right.
I need to go on a diet. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to lose 60 pounds by the end of the summer.
By the end of the summer.
Yeah, by September. I lost 130 in 9 months. I can lose 60 in, 3 months?
Jeez.
I can do it. If I ate beans, Jeremy, I would explode. Like, literally. My body could not handle it. Someone just texted me.
That was me. I sent you the Films at Home review of the
Oh, my
revamp.
God. I cannot wait to hear his super insightful thoughts on a movie that he probably did not watch.
The funny thing is, all I did was send you the link to the Blu-ray.com review of it.
I love. Is it good things?
Honestly, did not even read it.
Look, come here. Come here, dog.
Picture quality got 5 stars on 4K. 4 stars for audio. Extras 3.5. Overall 4.5 stars.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jeff from Films at Home, and today we got a review for the man. Was sourced from a 35 miller intermediate deposit. 36,000.
I love muting him.
69 per.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah, this is Fireside Chat. I remember whenever Biden got elected, not to talk politics, but Biden got elected. And they go, he's bringing back Fireside Chats. And I was like, who the fuck cares?
And not to mention, where is the fire?
Oh my. Apparently every president's done it.
I would be
Except
way
Trump.
more excited if, like, every 2 weeks there was an actual press release and there was a video of Biden out by like a giant fire. Okay, troops.
We gotta stop the malarkey.
Oh, your presidential impressions are always so spot on.
I can do Trump pretty
No,
decently.
you can't.
I can do Trump.
You're so bad at it.
Okay, how about my Obama? Is it good?
It's no.
Whatever, dude. What? Oh, Ryan, you're just wrong. My Obama's great. Listen, Ryan, my Trump is fantastic. It's the best. I think we should elect a Italian for the next president.
Okay.
Who's the guy from New York that got fired? We should hire him. Honestly, only thing Cuomo's guilty of is being an Italian man.
Let's not go down that route again. I love how we both said, anyways, thanks guys for hanging out tonight.
I can do a pretty good Cuomo. Ryan?
That was Cuomo?
I couldn't finish it. I almost farted. I couldn't finish it.
On that note, thanks everybody for watching. We were going to have a regular episode next week where we got some picks and we will be talking about some movies. It's been a good time. I appreciate you all. And till next